Tantrums. Yeah, tantrums today. Next. Tantrums. Let's talk about it. Hi and Jumbo. Welcome to another video about how we can give our children some tools so that they can gain confidence to face life, while we are supporting them social emotionally so that they can flourish. Yes, today I want us to talk about tantrums. But before we do that, welcome back to you who is coming back. Thank you for your support. And to you who is just arriving here, welcome home. Remember to subscribe and just comment and say something. Let's have a conversation. Today I want us to talk about tantrums. I have been thinking deeply about the tantrums. I know all of us, we have either seen or our children or our grandchildren, maybe in the classroom. We have seen maybe when you're just about to transition, this one child just throws a beautiful tantrum. Maybe my question had been, what if that tantrum was something else? What if that act of defiance, that suddenness, because you don't see actually it coming, you just see an outburst, an act of defiance. You can actually, say something, and the child will look at you and throw themselves down and just kick and scream, throw some other stuff here and there, because technically that is how they call for our attention. But the question to myself, and maybe to the caregivers, maybe to the parents, the grandparents, a question to myself I ask, what if that outburst were for something else? What if it was they were trying to communicate? What if they were trying to say something to us and they did not know how to say it? And because they have discovered maybe when I do this, it attracts some attention. It at least I get attention. I get to be heard and I get to be listened to. All people come to my aid. And therefore I can now say something. And even if probably I'm misunderstood, at least they stopped whatever they were doing and they came to my aid. Now, like as adults, honestly, many times you are caught up with stress, you're distressed, you're caught up with so many things in so many different ways. And it is only that we are adults we are able to inhibit. But I have seen adults who will kick stuff because they're so frustrated. They maybe are misunderstood, and maybe they cannot help it that at that particular moment. Now I want you to imagine a child who many times, of course, they make the decisions, but most of the decisions we make, they're not necessarily in line because they don't have the concept of time, they don't have the concept of urgency, they don't have the concept of the many things which have to be done, and yet they have to operate within a boxed time that if, for example, in school, this is time to go to the playground or to transition to another activity, you have to do that. And now as adults, we are able to regulate ourselves on such, and we are able to look through to it, but the children don't have. And when we trigger them, they have to do something to be heard, because that to me is the motive. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And usually I wonder, what do they want me to hear? And I think I have started teaching myself that they want me to see the motive behind that tantrum. They were trying to communicate. Most of us will communicate through the words or through the writing. To them, they communicate through a particular behavior. And that behavior, of course, their primary language is that what they use, and it is a tantrum. When that child throws a tantrum, of course, you rise up. The question is, how about we ask ourselves, what is the motive behind this? Instead of getting frustrated or looking at it as an annoyance, or looking at ourselves and say, my God, what did I do? If it is a store and you're so embarrassed and you are kind of feeling, oh God, this child, I cannot believe it. How about you look back at the back of that tantrum? What was the motive? What was making that child, or what is making this child throw a beautiful tantrum, so that you can give them the space and you can help them self-soothe and self-regulate. Instead of being annoyed, how about we think through what is the child trying to say, because they are trying to communicate. What is the child? What's the emotion behind that? Because they're trying to communicate these big emotions that they just got, but they don't know what to do with them. Every single time they feel out of control, the emotional cap just opens, and it is so hard to put it back. You can inhibit them. They are not emotionally there. They cannot be able to inhibit their own emotions, so it always flips open. Now, when it flips open, of course, we freak out. But if you just take a deep breath and you look back at the motive, why is my child throwing a tantrum? I usually say this: young children, they are goal oriented. And as soon as you understand that goal, you may not actually give in to give them what they wanted, but you can help them understand. Not the way we say that you tell them, oh, I see you are very angry, but you still are not going to get it. That is not empathy. I think this is the time they are looking for empathy. Understand, I wanted this and I know I will not get it, but I'm frustrated or I'm angry or I'm sad. For you to go there and acknowledge that emotion, just acknowledge that emotion and let them feel it, and then you look for solutions. Sometimes I will tell the child, I see you're very, very, very sad. When you're done, do you mind to come and talk? I'll be ready. I'll be waiting for you. And maybe at an instant, most of the time they will cry. I will still be there, probably somewhere near where they can see me. And then when they are done, they will come and we can talk. I wanted to pray a little longer. But I wanted to pray a little longer and I don't want to go out. And I understand. But this is our time to go outside. And it is okay to feel what you feel. Sometimes I also don't want to go out because I'm busy and I would rather do something else. But then when it will be the time I want to go, it is somebody else's turn. You can communicate and you can empathize with them to see the logic in it, because at that moment they're throwing tantrums. They perceive that you're not understanding where they are. We can try to understand our children when we go back behind the motive of their tantrum, and we can help them understand by giving them the words, helping them feel the emotion. We shouldn't, in my own opinion, we shouldn't cut short that emotion. We need to allow them to feel it so that they can self-regulate. And of course, offering maybe help, or offering the way you could if you're the one who is feeding it or a friend who was feeding it. This is what they did, without forcing the child to do it themselves. Thank you so much for listening. And today, again, I wanted us to talk about that tantrum and little ways that we can ease that tantrum and to help our children feel understood. They will still throw another tantrum, but they will be understood, and slowly but surely they start self-regulating and actually using their words. Thank you again, and see you in another video. Make sure to subscribe, comment, say something. See you next time.